If you are over 60 and planning to fly in 2026, here's a scary truth most airlines will never warn you about up front. You can do everything right. Your ticket is paid for. Your bags are packed. Your passport looks fine. Your medications are neatly labeled. And yet, you can still be stopped at the gate, denied boarding, and sent home while your plane takes off without you. It happens fast, quietly, and usually over one small detail buried deep in fine print that no one explained to you. Airlines will gladly take your money months in advance, but when it's time to board, they follow rules so strict that one tiny mistake can wipe out thousands of dollars in seconds. And here's what makes this especially dangerous for travelers in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Many of these rules changed recently, and many more fully lock in during 2026. TSA, airlines, and European border agencies have rolled out new systems that punish travelers who aren't constantly watching updates. Younger travelers hear about them on social media. Frequent flyers learn through trial and error. But older travelers often find out the hard way, standing at a counter while an agent calmly says, "I'm sorry, we can't let you board." I went through hundreds of real complaints from older travelers and spoke with people who worked inside the system. The same traps showed up again and again, not because people were careless, but because the rules are confusing, inconsistent, and poorly explained. By the end of this series, you'll know exactly what to check at home, so no TSA agent, airline desk, or European border officer can stop your trip before it starts. Let's begin with the trap that looks harmless, sounds logical, and quietly destroys international trips every single day. Rule number 8, the fake passport expiration date. Most people believe the date printed in their passport is the final word. If it says it expires in March, they assume they can travel until March. That belief alone has cost travelers thousands. Here's what airlines and many travel agents don't clearly explain. The expiration date printed in your passport is not the real deadline for international travel. Imagine this. You book a dream trip. Your passport expires on March 15th. Your flight leaves January 10th and you return January 25. You see more than a month left on your passport and think, "I'm fine." You're not. Many countries require your passport to be valid for 6 months beyond your entry date, sometimes beyond your return date. It doesn't matter that you're only staying 2 weeks. It doesn't matter that your passport technically hasn't expired yet. If it doesn't meet their rule, the airline will not let you board. This rule is common across much of Asia, parts of Africa, and even some Caribbean destinations. It catches older travelers more than anyone else because many keep passports for the full 10 years and don't track every rule change. At the airport, the agent scans your passport, pauses, and tells you they can't check you in. You argue, you explain, they don't budge. The system flags it, the flight is gone, the money is gone, and renewing a passport isn't as simple as it once was. Getting an appointment, traveling to the office, waiting in line, and dealing with processing delays all take more time and energy than they did years ago. The safest rule is simple. Your passport should be valid for at least 6 months after you return home, not just during your trip. If it expires anywhere near that window, renew it early. A smart habit is to set a reminder 10 months before your passport expires. That gives you time to renew calmly, without panic, without rush fees, and without risking your trip. Now let's move to the next trap, because even a passport that looks brand new can still get you stopped. Rule number 7, the invisible damaged passport. This one surprises people the most. Your passport can look perfect. Clean cover, crisp pages, clear photo, and still be rejected as damaged. Inside modern passports is a tiny electronic chip. That chip is scanned at airports, gates, and border checkpoints. From 2026 onward, more countries rely heavily on automated gates that require that chip to work perfectly. Here's the problem. Folding your passport, sitting on it, or carrying it in a back pocket can quietly break the internal antenna. The damage isn't visible. The pages still turn. But the chip stops working. At the airport, the scanner fails. The agent tries again. It fails again. And suddenly, you hear the words no traveler wants to hear. This passport is damaged. It doesn't matter that it looks new. The system treats it as broken. Older travelers are more vulnerable here because passports are kept longer, eyesight changes make small damage harder to notice, and habits formed decades ago, like folding documents, can come back to hurt you. If your passport chip doesn't scan, you may miss your flight, pay rebooking fees, and spend hours dealing with a problem you didn't even know existed. The fix is simple but important. Never fold your passport. Never keep it in your back pocket. Store it flat in a protective holder. If your vision isn't great, ask someone you trust to check it under bright light for ripples, peeling, water stains, or fading. If your photo looks very different from how you look today, renew early. Facial recognition systems are less forgiving than humans. And if you're already at the counter and the chip fails, arguing doesn't help. Calmly ask for manual processing and plan to replace the passport after your trip. Because the next rule is even more common and hits close to home. Now, let's talk about something that catches seniors off guard, even on short trips to see family. Rule number 6, real ID versus real life. You show up for a domestic flight. You're not leaving the country. You're just visiting your grandkids or attending a wedding. You hand over your driver's license, the same one you've used for years. The agent looks at it and pauses. Do you have another form of ID? Your license doesn't have the real ID star. Since May 2025, TSA has been tightening enforcement. By 2026, many checkpoints no longer treat old licenses as fully valid for flying. Without that small star in the corner, you can be sent to secondary screening. That means long questioning, extra checks, full pat-downs, and delays that can easily cause you to miss your flight. Some travelers are forced into paid identity verification services just to continue. This rule hits older travelers hard because many still use licenses issued years ago. They don't fly often, they don't follow TSA updates closely, and going to the DMV isn't as easy as it once was. Here's the simplest solution. If you're over 60 and fly even once or twice a year, use your passport as your main ID for flying, even on domestic trips. TSA accepts it everywhere. It bypasses real ID confusion completely. Check your license today. If there's no star, don't assume it will work smoothly in 2026. Now let's cross the ocean, because Europe is adding layers that slow everything down. Rule number 5. Europe's new fingerprint and face scan system. Starting late 2025 and becoming mandatory by April 2026, Europe rolls out a new entry-exit system across most countries. Instead of a quick passport stamp, travelers must submit fingerprints and facial scans every time they enter or leave the region. For younger travelers, it's an inconvenience. For older travelers, it can be exhausting. If you have arthritis, shaky hands, limited mobility, or use a cane or wheelchair, the process takes longer. Scanners fail, lines build up, connections are missed. Many older couples report missing trains, tours, or connecting flights simply because biometric lines moved slower than expected. The system isn't designed to punish you, but it doesn't wait for you either. The fix is preparation. Arrive earlier than you used to. Build longer layovers. Speak up immediately if you have a medical condition that makes scanning difficult. Officers do have alternative procedures, but they won't use them unless you say something. Register together if traveling with a spouse, so you're processed together later. Now comes the rule most seniors don't even know exists. Rule number 4. No boarding without European pre-approval. For trips in late 2026 and beyond, travelers to Europe will need online travel authorization before boarding their flight. No authorization, no boarding, even with a perfect passport. This approval is done online before your trip. Most people get approved quickly, but some applications take days. If you arrive at the airport without it, the airline cannot check you in. Trying to apply on airport Wi-Fi under pressure is a nightmare, especially if approval isn't instant. For older travelers, the stress alone can ruin the experience. The solution is simple. Apply at least a week before travel. Earlier, if you prefer to move slowly or need help. Print confirmation. Save it on your phone. Email it to yourself. It's valid for years, but tied to your passport. New passport means new approval. And now, the modern trap that sounds helpful, but isn't always. Rule number 3. The digital ID trap. Digital IDs sound like the future. Add your license to your phone. No wallet needed. But here's the truth. Digital IDs only work at certain airports, certain checkpoints, and certain lanes. Not everywhere. Not always. Many travelers assume TSA approved means universal. It doesn't. Older travelers get burned when scanners fail, phones die, or agents don't accept digital IDs at that checkpoint. Without the physical card, you're sent to secondary screening. Always carry your physical ID. Digital ID is backup, not replacement. Keep your phone charged, screen bright, and if the digital scan fails, immediately hand over your physical ID. Now let's talk about something deeply personal and deeply frustrating. Rule number 2. Medically necessary liquids. Still get taken on paper. TSA allows medically necessary liquids over the usual size limit. In real life, that only works if you handle it correctly. If you leave large liquid medications buried in your bag, scanners flag them. Officers pull them out. Without declaration or proof, they often throw them away. For seniors, losing a medication or supplement can ruin days of travel. The fix is simple. Separate these liquids before security. Declare them clearly. Bring proof when possible. Prescription labels matter. Doctor notes help. Say the words. These are medically necessary liquids. It changes the entire interaction. And finally, the rule that quietly destroys trips without warning. Rule number 1. Blank passport pages. The silent trip killer. Your passport can be valid for years and still get you denied boarding. Many countries require 1 to 4 completely blank pages for visas and stamps, not half used, not stamped once, fully blank. Older travelers are at higher risk because passports fill slowly over time, and US passports no longer allow adding pages. If it's full, renewal is your only option. Airlines check this before boarding. If you don't meet the requirement, they won't let you fly. No refund. No exception. Count your blank pages today. If you're under 4, plan a renewal before a big trip. Also, check children's passports. They expire faster and fill faster. The best habit is simple. Monitor your passport after each trip. Renew early. Ask the question when booking. Does this destination require a minimum number of blank pages? 10 seconds can save thousands.